Hey everyone, welcome back to bageltcg. Today we're going to be doing an update to our classic constructed tier list. We just had a pro quest in the calling Dallas, and we saw some results that definitely altered this. I've had quite a few armories, about a month of armories, I think, since my last tier list, and maybe not that long, but I've had a lot of testing, a lot of games, and I think that this tier list, while I did say it was speculative in the video, I obviously didn't get a lot of it right. And I think I maybe overvalued and undervalued some heroes, right? So this was the tier list that I had last time in my previous speculative video. We're not going to call this one speculative. I think we kind of know a bit more about what the meta looks like. I'm just going to be kind of moving these around, right? So I do think Prism is the most powerful hero right now. She is game against a lot of the field, and probably the two other S tier decks that we're gonna get to. She has a pretty solid matchup against. I think Lexi is. I was thinking. I think I overvalued Ice. I thought Frostbite was really good, and I thought Ice was just pretty powerful. But I don't think Ice ended up being that amazing. So I'm gonna put Lexi in A now. I think the lightning builds look good. If we look at the ProQuest results, there was a top 8 list for Lexi here, and that was a lightning Lexi build. So I think lightning Lexi has legs, obviously, putting up top 8 results in a major tournament, but I don't think she's necessarily S tier. And Oldhim, I'm going to put down into B tier once again. I think I overvalued his ice. There's actually been quite a few people in my local meta testing kind of an aggro Oldhim that is really trying to utilize his pumps with the card Thump to pump the Thump and get some big damage in there. And they seem to be doing pretty well, but that deck certainly isn't solved and it didn't put up any big results. So for now, I'm going to put it in B, but could potentially be an A tier deck. Moving up into S is going to be the deck I'm currently on, Bravo. Bravo put up two results, both in the top 4 of the ProQuest. So he's got a second place and a fourth place finish. So he did have he tied with Bolton for the most decks in the top 8, but his were both in the top 4. So Bravo seems to be doing pretty well. I'm probably going to do an updated deck tech. I know I did a budget $100 deck a while ago, but I'm going to be doing just a full deck tech of the deck I'm on right now. I think Bravo has a lot of different options to choose from, and some new spicy stuff that some of these top 4 decks were using. So Bravo is going to be S tier right now. He has a bad matchup into Prism, unfortunately, but I think he doesn't have a bad matchup into any other deck in the field. I think everything is at least a 50-50. So with a good player, you could probably beat most any other deck, and then just have to make sure you sideboard really hard and try to get a little lucky with the Prism matchup, honestly. But if you wanted to pick a good deck, I would pick one of these two or Dash, our other S tier deck. Dash has a slightly better Prism matchup than Bravo does, and also has a decent matchup against the rest of the field. So, when I say an S tier deck, I think all 3 of these decks are going to be the best to pick up if you just want the strongest decks that are going to have the best matchups against the largest portion of the field. All of these decks have pretty good matchups against each other. Some are 45, they're like 45-55 or 40-60, and they can generally beat most of the rest of the field. Um, and then in A tier, Bolton, I'm going to have as the top of A tier. I'm not convinced he's fully in S tier yet, but as you can see, he did put up 2 results, a top 4 finish and a top 8 finish in the ProQuest. So he tied Bravo with 2 placements in there, and he just seems to be pretty solid. He can either do a hybrid Saber and Raiden build and sideboard into one or the other, which seems to be the direction people are going, or he can just go more into one or the other. But he is really good into Prism because he can go wide, which is Prism's weakness. So I think he's maybe just the counter to Prism right now. If Prism's the best deck, you might want to pick up Bolton if you want to beat that. I don't think I think he's probably 50-50 against Bravo and Dash or somewhere around there. It's a lot closer, but he has a decent matchup into Prism, and yeah, we're also gonna say another deck. Katu, I'm gonna move up happily. I thought Katu was gonna be really weak. Katu was what I was on before. I was worried about him into Frostbites, but it looks like that he's gonna be fine. I mean, he has a really good matchup, like a really good matchup into Prism. The Kodachis are just really scary for auras. You can do a full combo chain and just end with one Kodachi to pop her auras. So he's a great matchup into Prism. And, these matchups might not be amazing. He doesn't have like a fantastic Bravo matchup really, but his Dash matchup is pretty decent as well. And his Bolton matchup isn't awful either. So, I mean, it's not great, but yeah, I think he's an A tier hero still. I don't think he's S tier like I might have put him at one point, but I think he's at least not as bad as I thought he was going to be, honestly. And then Briar, I'm also going to move up to A tier. Um, I have a lot of people locally testing Mount Heroic Briar builds. Mount Heroic Briar in general has been pretty popular online. While she didn't put up any top 8 results at the ProQuest, the deck seems to have some pretty decent legs. And I just don't want to discount it. I know a lot of people think it seems pretty powerful. So I think for now, Briar is going to also be an A tier. And then these two heroes, Mr. Chain and Viscerite, are going to be moving down. I do have to say, when I made that tier list, Duskblade was not banned yet, so that's how long ago that tier list was made. So I thought all the Rune Blades were going to be pretty decent with Duskblade. But for one, Duskblade is banned, and two, I've tried out some Chain and seen some Chain, and just the Seeds ban hurt him dramatically. His only non-attack actions that he can even play from the banish zone now are the Seeping Shadows or Something Shadows that lets you give something go again and Howl from Beyond, and those are just not nearly as insane or cheap as Seeds of Agony. So he gets hurt more than I thought by the Seeds of Agony ban. And then Viscera as well, without Duskblade, he seems to be okay, but I think he's going to be like how he has been for a while, honestly, of just kind of being a very solid B tier hero. Nothing amazing, but he's fun, and if you're a really big Viscerai player, you can still put up some results with them. And then I'm gonna move Dorinthia up to A. I think she's kind of in between A and B, but Dorinthia is just a solid hero that I don't ever think is gonna be awful. She doesn't have an amazing Prism matchup either, but she's just so like slightly above average. She's just such a 6 or 7 out of 10 hero. She's got great equipment. She has a solid game plan. My cat disagrees. My cat does not think Dorinthia is great. He obviously had something to say about that. But yeah, I'm gonna move up Dorinthia to A. So I think this is pretty much the tier list. These two could be here or here. I guess maybe I wouldn't say there's any D tier specifically. These are all kind of just somewhere floating around these two. These are certainly the 4 worst heroes. And I wouldn't recommend bringing any of these 4 heroes to an event unless you're really, really, really familiar with them and you think you can, exploit some sort of niche. Being able to, if you think one of these heroes has a really good matchup into the at 3S tier or most of the field, and you've figured out something that the rest of us have not. Yeah, I mean, like I would say go ahead, but I would say really this is the meta right now. These are the heroes to beat. Prism really is the hero to beat. Bravo has to tech heavily to beat her, and a lot of heroes have to tech different to be able to play around auras. She just can accrue so much value with her auras. It's pretty absurd. Bravo is very powerful, as is Dash. And then I'd say the only hero, I mean, I wouldn't say the only hero. Two of the tails of our heroes are both making a decent splash, and Oldhim might as well. I don't think any of them are awful, but I don't think any of them were as meta defining as I expected, I'd say. So I'm pretty happy with the meta. I'm excited to play in Nationals. If any of you are going to Nationals in Orlando, I'll be there. I don't expect to do great on Friday, so I already have my ticket for the calling, so I can just, X4 and drop or something and then play the calling. But I'm excited just to have a good time. I don't have as much experience as I'd like drafting yet, so that's why I don't expect to do well. But yeah, I'm just excited to have a good time. And yeah, see you all in Orlando. If you have any questions, let me know what you guys are playing. Like, subscribe, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.